Hello students and welcome back to the class. So once again your teacher is here with you and she's going to teach you something, right? Now what is that something that we have to do in today's class? That is a question mark. What are we going to discuss today? And before I start with today's session, we need to remember or we need to just recapitulate what all we have done in our previous class. So if I'm not wrong, if I try to recapitulate what all has been done in my previous class, we people were discussing something related to Drago's rule. And what was Drago's rule? In Drago's rule, I told you, right, if the central atom is having an atomic number which is greater than equal to 15, and if the side atom is literally a smaller atom with a very small value of electronegativity, then in that particular case the pure s orbital will be housed in the pure s orbital. The pure s electrons will be there in pure s orbital only. They will not be involved in hybridization. However, the p orbitals will simply be used in hybridization, and in those compounds the bond angle will be approximately equal to 90 degree, 91, 92, 93, 94, right? So this was the variation in the bond angle, and this we discussed under the topic what happened or how a bond angle gets altered when you change the electronegativity of the central atom by keeping the electronegativity of all the side atoms to be same, right? So till here we had discussed everything in our last class, and now in today's class we need to move on to a new topic, which is resonance. So why resonance was originated? Resonance actually is a concept that we will be studying in organic chemistry. But we as JEE students, as NEET students, we need to know a little about resonance. So I will be teaching you something about resonance in today's class, and maybe the details of all the resonating structures we will be doing when we come on to organic chemistry class 11th only, but later on in the later part of class 11th. Okay. So let me start by writing down the main topic or the main heading for today's class, which is resonance. Now the first thing is, what do we mean by resonance, or how come there was this origin of this particular topic, right? Now let us first start by writing down the structure of a carbonate ion. I am not asking you to tell me the hybridization and all, I am just asking you to tell me the Lewis dot structure. But even for a Lewis dot structure, it is very easy to first get the steric number. So half number of valence electrons of central atom 4 plus number of atoms attached by single bond 0 plus minus the charge to 2. So 4 plus 2 is 6, and 6 divided by 2, 3. That means it will be sp2 hybridized. Okay. So now since carbon is sp2 hybridized, so I'll say carbon will be there in the center and 3 oxygens will be somewhere here, right? So see, one carbon will be forming a double bond with this oxygen, will be forming a single bond with this oxygen, and since we have a CO3 2 minus and carbon can form a total of 4 bonds and 2 negative charges are there, so another single bond with a negatively charged oxygen. So this is how you will draw the structure of carbonate ion. Now one question might be coming to your mind, ma'am, can we draw the structure like this? This O forms O minus, and this is forming a double bond. So this is entirely a new structure. Or can I draw another structure something like this? Now are all the three structures same, or like what exactly is being done in all these cases? Okay. So this is what we are going to study today. Now what happens at times when a single structure cannot explain all the properties of a molecule? Then what we do, we draw a number of structures for that particular molecule. Now none of the structures that I will be drawing on board will be the correct structure of the molecule. But yes, maybe one structure is used to explain one property, another structure is used to explain another property, third structure is used to explain another property. But none of them is the real structure of the molecule, okay? And then we draw a hybrid structure which is known as resonance hybrid, okay? So let me just write down the definition of what is resonance. So for the definition of resonance, we say that when one single structure cannot explain all the properties of a molecule, when one single structure cannot explain all the properties of a molecule, then a number of such structures will be drawn. Then a number of structures such structures will be drawn, and these will be known as canonical forms. Will be drawn to explain all the properties of the molecule. All the properties of the molecule. Now, these structures are known as canonical forms. First note it down, and then I'll explain you the meaning of all the lines that I'm writing here, okay? So, these structures are known as the canonical forms. Okay, so all these structures are known as canonical forms, but none of the structure will be the exact structure of the molecule. But none of the structure will be the exact structure of the molecule. So, will be the exact, let me write it down here. But none of the structure will be the exact structure of the molecule. Okay. The exact structure of the molecule could be drawn. The exact structure of the molecule could be drawn as a hybrid structure. Now, at least by this point of time, having done this much about hybridization, you people would have understood what is hybrid structure. So, hybrid structure is some properties will be taken from one structure, some properties, some characteristics from others, some from others, some from others, right? So, what I am saying that the exact structure of the molecule could be drawn as a hybrid structure and will be called as the resonance hybrid. And the complete phenomena will be known as resonance. And that is the main topic of our class that we had to discuss today. Okay. So let me just read the definition once again, and then I'll start explaining you the entire details about resonance. So it says that when one single structure cannot explain all the properties of a molecule, okay. So let's say there is a particular molecule like carbonate, and if I'm drawing just one particular structure, it is not able to explain all the properties of a molecule, then a number of such different structures could be drawn, and all these so that to explain all the properties of the molecule, right. So such structures that will be drawn will be known as canonical forms, but none of the structure will be the exact or will be the real structure of the molecule. If however you want to draw the exact structure of the molecule, that structure you can draw, but that will be a kind of hybrid, okay. So that is given the name as resonance hybrid, and the entire process of drawing different structures, now how different structures could be drawn, that entire thing is known as resonance, okay. So now let us go into the details about the resonance which is taking place in chemistry. So let's discuss the details one by one. For example, if I'm giving you a very general example, let us say of this particular molecule only, which is carbonate, okay. So whenever I will ask you to draw the structure, I will always be asking you to draw the dots as lone pair. So this is mandatory while drawing the resonance structures. Always make sure that the octet completion you are showing with respect to the dots and all, okay. Now you know one thing, right, that a sigma bond is a stronger bond compared to a pi bond. So if the electron pair of both the two atoms are going to combine with each other to form sigma bonds, then the sigma bond will be a stronger bond because maximum overlapping can take place, right, because it is like head-on collision, they are going to come and overlap with each other. But if I am talking about the same case with respect to a pi bond, then I say that a pi bond is a weaker bond. I am not saying that a double bond is a weaker bond. I already told you so many times that double bond is stronger than a single bond, right. A single bond is always weaker bond compared to the double bond if you are taking both the two bonds all together in one go. However, if I am talking about a sigma and a pi bond, then I will say that the sigma bond is however stronger than a pi bond, because the pi bond is formed by sidewise overlapping, right. And always you need to remember one another statement, which is really very important statement, that the electrons will flow from a region of high electron density to a region of low electron density. So the same potential thing is applied here also. So in chemistry you always show the movement of electrons, the electrons will always flow from a region of high electron density to a region of low electron density. To a region of low electron density. And this also I told you that the movement of electrons will be from higher region to a lower region. Another important thing that I told you is that the pi bonds are weaker bond compared to sigma bonds, right? Now see, whenever oxygen is having a negative charge, that means more of electron density is there compared to a neutral oxygen atom, right? So what will happen, this oxygen will tend to give its extra pair of electrons to the CO bond so that a double bond formation can take place. But now the problem is, if a double bond will be formed here, then carbon, which is already having a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds, will now have a total of 5 bonds, which is not possible. So one of the pi bond will break up and this oxygen will get a negative charge. So see, so this oxygen, the one on the left hand side, will remain as such with a negative. However, this oxygen now is forming a double bond, so the negative will be lost. Whereas this oxygen earlier had a total of 4 electrons, 4 valence electrons, now will get another 2 valence electrons and will get a negative charge. So see, there is just the movement of charge from a higher electron density region to a region of low electron density, and I am gonna say that the same molecule will now have a different structure. Okay, so it is not that when you are seeing that, like when you go to the lab and you measure this CO bond, it should be a longer bond. This also should be a longer bond, and this should be a shorter bond because it is a double bond, right? So the bond length of this bond should be coming to be that of the CO single bond. The bond length of this CO bond should be again coming to equivalent to that of the single CO bond, and the bond length of this C double bond O should be equal to that of C double bond O. But the bond length of this CO is not same as this CO and is not same as this CO. And suddenly, like when you do the experiment, you got to know that in the CO3 2 minus molecule, all the bond lengths are exactly same. How is this possible that the bond lengths are same when I am saying one bond is a double bond and 2 are single bonds? So if these are having a length of, let's say, 2 angstrom, so this should be having a length of 1 angstrom. So the final results that I should have got should be 1 angstrom, comma 2 angstrom, comma 2 angstrom, right? But no, the final result that I was getting was around 1.5 angstrom. And how is this possible that the bond length in the case of CO3 2 minus is not coming to be equal to that of C double bond O and is not coming to be equal to that of C single bond O? Some problem is there, right? So in order to explain those problems, we said that just consider that since there is a difference in electron density, make sure the movement of lone pair of electrons takes place from a region of high electron density, and they should be going to a region of low electron density. Okay. Now see, look at the board even more carefully now. So if I ask you to draw the structure of CO3 2 minus once again, I will say C, and see, the movement of electrons will always be from a region of high to low electron density. So let's say this comes here forming a double bond, but carbon cannot have a total of 5 bonds, so one pair of electron, like one bond, will break up and this will be formed like this. So now this carbon will be forming a double bond with this oxygen, will be forming a single bond with this oxygen, but this oxygen will have a negative now, and this oxygen is as such. Now these two structures are belonging to carbonate only. This is also CO3 2 minus, this is also CO3 2 minus, right? And we'll say the two will be separated with respect to a double arrowed structure. Okay. Now not only this, now let us say this pair of electron comes here and this pair of electron will go to this particular oxygen, right? And it will lead to the formation of this O will again get a negative with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with a negative, and this will get a double bond O. Okay, and if I am asking you to tell me which will be the correct structure of the carbonate ion, you will say, ma'am, neither structure 1 nor structure 2 and nor structure 3. None of the 3 structures that I have drawn on board for carbonate ion will be the correct structures for carbonate ions. Okay, so none of them is the perfect structure. So if I am saying none of them is the perfect structure, so I'll call all of them as the canonical forms. So all of them could be called as the canonical forms for carbonate ion. Now what should be the final structure that I'll draw? Finally, I'll draw these 3 lines of equivalence and I'll say this O, okay, let me write down here. So I'll say carbon will be taken in the center and 3 oxygens will be placed in this particular fashion with oxygen, like with carbon, right? Now see carefully, here for one time, so let us call this as structure 1, structure 2, structure 3. In structure number 3, you can see this CO bond is a single bond. Okay. In structure number 2, you say that no, this is a double bond. In structure number 3, once again you said it's a single bond. So sometimes you can see single, sometimes you can see double. So I'm saying no, neither it is a single nor it is a double, rather it's a bond which is like 1.5. So one bond I'll draw properly and another I'll draw in the dotted fashion. Okay. Now look at this. In structure 1, this CO is a double bond. In structure 2, this CO bond is a single bond. In structure 3, once again it's a single bond. So don't you think it should be neither double nor single, but it should be again some dotted bond that I'll draw. Okay, and the same goes for this particular oxygen. But now the overall structure is having a total of 1 negative, 1 negative, 2 negative, 1 negative, 1 negative, 2 negative, 1 negative, 1 negative, 2 negative, right? So at any point of time, the overall charge in the molecule is 2 minus. And if you draw a structure like this, then this you will call it as resonance hybrid. So this is how the movement of sigma electrons or pi electrons can be. So not the sigma electrons, it is actually the movement of either the lone pair of electrons or it is actually the movement of pi electrons which is taking place uniformly throughout the structure, leading to the generation of canonical forms, which finally will be leading to the formation of resonance hybrid. Okay, so this is what I was saying, right, that if C single bond O is, let's say, 2 angstrom and C double bond O is, let's say, 1 angstrom, then if, let's say, this is the final structure or if this is the correct structure, then I'll be getting one bond which is of 1 angstrom and I'll be getting 2 bonds each of 2 angstrom, right? But when I actually went, so this is what is theoretical. Theoretically, I thought this will happen. But when I actually went to the experimentation lab, when I did the spectrometric details, I got to know, no, not 2 bond lengths are same and one another bond length is different. What happens is actually all the bond lengths are having a total of 1.5 angstrom length. Now, this is very much clear that a length of 1.5 angstrom is greater than the length of a single bond but lesser than the length of a double bond, right? So this is what is resonance and this is how resonance takes place inside the whole molecule. Fine. Now I'll just tell you that what are the basic conditions for resonance and then we'll move on to other examples of resonance. So first of all, the most important condition of resonance that you people have to see, if that particular condition is present, then only you can say resonance will be taking place in the molecule. So the first condition is, so what are the conditions for resonance? So the first most important condition for resonance is the presence of a conjugated system. the presence of a conjugated system. Now the question that is there in your mind is, what do we mean by conjugated system, right? So this is what we have to study now, what is meant by conjugated system. So a conjugated system is something like, there has to be the presence of a double bond, then a single bond, and then once again a double bond. Okay, like for example, if I tell you CH2 double bond CH, CH double bond CH2. Okay, this is an organic compound which is written like this. Now I am saying that if double, single, double are separated, so this is a pi bond and even this is a pi bond. So maybe this pi bond shifts its electrons here, but now this carbon will have a total of 5 bonds, which is not possible. So one pi bond will break and form the lone pairs. So see, this carbon is losing an electron, so it will get a positive charge. This carbon will now get a total of double bond, whereas this carbon is actually losing one bond and it is actually getting a pair of electrons, so it will be CH2 negative. Okay, so this is the first kind of conjugation that has to be present in the system. It can be a double, single, double bond. Okay, now if it is not a double, single, double, we can say it has to be a double, single and a positive charge present in the system. And if I give you an example, consider CH2 double bond CH and then consider a CH2 positive. Now see, the pi electrons have to go. So it is just the movement of pi electrons from a region of high electron density and they have to go and approach a region of low electron density. So don't you think the electron density in the case of a double bond is always greater than the electron density at the positive end? If it's a positive end, that means it's a deficiency of electrons, right? And double bond means excess of electrons. So this pair of electron will change itself and they'll come here. Carbon loses one bond, so we'll get a positive. Now this carbon will again get a double bond and the positive charge will be utilized away. So see, now whether I draw this particular structure CH2 CH double bond, CH2 double bond CH, CH2 positive, or I draw CH2 positive CH double bond CH2, they are the resonance structures. Okay, and if I ask you to draw the canonical form, so you will say CH2 CH CH2 dot 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 dot, and the whole overall molecule will get a unit positive charge throughout the structure. Okay, so this was second kind of conjugate system that can be present for satisfaction of resonance. Third system for resonance that I can show you, the third conjugate system that you can remember is the presence of a double, single and a negative charge, and the fourth system is the presence of double, single, lone pair. Okay, we'll discuss all, like both of them one by one. So when I'm talking about the double, single, negative charge, I'll give you an example of let us say CH2 double bond CH, and then let us say we have a CH2 with a negative charge. Okay, now high electron density is at the terminal which is having a negative charge density. So this will come here, carbon cannot get 5 bonds, one of the pi bond will break. So now this carbon got an extra pair of electrons, so we'll get a negative, then CH and then CH2. Okay, and one last, if I draw CH2 double bond CH, let us keep one OH here. So we have double, single, lone pair, right? Now lone pairs are nothing but they also have excess of electron density. So when I am saying lone pairs also have excess of electron density, the electron will be flowing from oxygen and they'll go to carbon. Now since carbon got one extra electron pair, so it will get a negative. This CH will get like this and OH. Now see carefully, since oxygen loses a pair of electron, or since you can say oxygen is forming 3 bonds, so whenever it exceeds its covalency, it will be getting a positive charge. So all these 4 structures that I have drawn on board are really important for writing down the resonance structures which are concerned for the chapter chemical bonding and molecular structures. Okay. I am not saying that this is the only condition for resonance to take place. No, I am really not saying that. There are complete details, like there is something known as, what should I say, a planar arrangement and all these things, but we will not be going into the details about the planar arrangement, and no details about resonance we can do now, because that's a part of general organic chemistry which we'll do in organic chemistry. Okay. But just from the chemical bonding chapter point of view, I'll show you one thing, like how actually the electron transfer is taking place. So these first and the second case I'll explain you. Maybe with the help of this you will be able to understand the crux behind resonance. So let us take 2 forms. One is this form, and the another form I'll be taking is this form. Okay. Let me now draw these 2 forms. So this carbon is forming HCH, double bond CH, CH, like this. Okay. Now this particular carbon is forming 1, 2, 3 sigma bonds, 3 sigma and 1 pi. It is sp2, 1, 2, 3, 3 sigma 1 pi. Again sp2, 1, 2, 3, 3 sigma 1 pi, sp2, 1, 2, 3, 3 sigma 1 pi, sp2. Okay, sp2 means planar. So now see, if you draw the structure of this particular carbon, I'll just show you one case, the other one will be clear, easy for you people to understand. Now see, I am just talking about the double bond formation. So I'll say carbon is here forming a bond with other carbon atom, like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now make a double bond here and make a double bond here. Something like this. Okay. I am saying now what will happen, this and this will start sharing the electron pairs with each other, leading to the formation of a positive charge here, this and this forming a double bond, and a negative charge here, right. So that means easily the electrons shifting can take place from one double bond which will now come in the middle, and it will go to the next double bond. Okay. So this is what I have shown. This pi bond will break, it will come here, and this pi bond will break, and the carbon at the corner will get lots of electron density with itself. Okay. So this was the case with the CH2 double bond CH, CH double bond CH2. Now I will be drawing the case of another molecule. And this case with another molecule is something like CH2 double bond CH, CH2 positive. So see, HCH, CH, CH2. Now it's a positive, so it's having one vacant p orbital, whereas these two are having one electron. So see, they are forming a double bond. Am I right? Now what will happen? Now I am asking, these two will form a bond and this will be left as such. So CH2 positive means one vacant p orbital, and something like this. Okay. So this is how actually the resonance is taking place. Now let me do a few more examples which are actually of class 11th, I mean both for CBSE, boards and JEE level also. So first you have to draw the structures of PO4 3 minus. So try to draw the resonance structures. How will I show? So 1 phosphorus, O minus, O minus, O minus, and a double bond O, right? So see, always show the atoms with the pair of electrons, because these electron pairs are something like which actually belong. So these pair of electrons which are acting as a lone pair of electrons, they are nothing but they are surnames. So I really feel like saying I am Sakshi Ganotra, right? So I tell my first name, I tell my surname, right? Similarly, if you are drawing oxygen atom, so oxygen atom is okay, an atom, but its identity will be shown by the number of lone pairs it is having. So make sure you do represent the lone pairs very nicely. So what I'll say, first I'll say this will come here, but phosphorus cannot have more than 5 bonds, so this pair of electron will break up and go to this oxygen. So the structure that I'll draw is like this, with a negative, with a negative, and now with a negative, something like this. Now what will I say? The electron density from higher electron, so the electrons will flow from a region of high electron density to a region of low electron density. Like this. Finally, what will I say? Again, the movement of electron will take place like from here to here, and it will lead to the formation of now see, you need to keep on doing them till all the bonds will be like equivalent. So once you get all the equivalent bonds, finally you will say equivalent to phosphorus in the center, 4 oxygens. Like look at this, once it is forming a single bond, now again a double bond, and now a single bond. What is happening, right? Sometimes it's double, sometimes it's single. So it's neither a single bond nor a double bond, but something in between. And the 3 negative charges are not concentrated on any 3 of the oxygens, rather I'll say the 3 negative charges are continuously found throughout the molecule. So this is how you will draw the resonance hybrid for a PO4 3 minus, okay? Whereas all these things that I have drawn are nothing but the canonical forms for this particular structure, okay? Now see guys, it's not only that negative charges are required to draw the resonance structures, we can also draw the resonance structures for neutral molecules. For example, I am drawing the resonance structure for, let us say, sulfuric acid. So how to draw sulfuric acid? Now complete. Okay, now see, again the lone pair are having, so the electrons will go from the lone pair and they will come here, because sulfur cannot have more than 6 bonds. So I'll show now see, this oxygen has lost a pair of electron. As soon as oxygen loses a pair of electron, so it will get a positive charge, okay? Keep on moving like this. Now this can come here, this can go there. Like this, okay? And the complete thing will move on. So now even this can happen, this is coming here, this is coming there. So you need to just remember one thing, that if the overall molecule was neutral, then whatever resonance structures you are drawing, whatever canonical forms you are drawing, you are not gonna do the shifting of let's say atoms. So the position of atom is not going to change when you are talking about resonance. Rather, it's only and only the change in the position of electrons that can be brought about in resonance. Okay, don't do one thing that you are taking up this hydrogen and you are sending the hydrogen to this oxygen. No, that is not resonance. So resonance is just the movement of pi electrons or of lone pairs from one region to the another in a conjugate system. Okay. So guys, this was all about the resonance that we had to do corresponding to the chapter chemical bonding and molecular structure. No further details about resonance will be done in this particular chapter. Rather, if you want to see the details, then you need to refer to the chapter general organic chemistry, which I have recorded for you people. Okay. So I think that's it for the session. Then once again, we'll meet again in the next class. So thank you for the lecture. Take care. Bye-bye.